Witnesses describe what happened when police arrested a suspect in a string of textbook thefts.
An incident on a Central Kentucky college campus ends with a student in the hospital and in critical condition.
A break-in leaves a store owner with a mess after thieves decided to come in through the roof.
This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. Police say he's behind the textbook thefts on campuses around the state.
UK police arrested Anthony Shields on Saturday after they say he tried to sell some of those stolen books at Kennedy's Wildcat Den. Today we're learning more about the arrest. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy has the details in our top story at 5.
Was working Saturday morning, and lo and behold, the guy just walked in.
UK police had already told Robert Dickinson, the textbook floor manager at Kennedy's Wildcat Den, to be on the lookout for this man, Anthony Shields. When Shields walked in Saturday trying to sell 8 textbooks, Dickinson called campus police.
He was, very calm, and there was no yelling, and then he walked out with them, and they went outside and talked for a little longer next to his car, which was full of books.
Store managers told us that they ended up talking to him for an hour and a half.
He had a very well-rehearsed story for the police, and that's what took him so long.
Dickinson says before Shields admitted to them he stole the books, he told them he had worked for a book company and was buying the books on professors and students. We talked to Shields' next-door neighbors who told us he told them the same thing, that he was a textbook dealer. Investigators don't buy his story. They claim he broke into at least 30 offices on the University of Kentucky's campus and that he stole books from EKU, Western Kentucky, and Morehead State.
Morehead State University, we believe, had some video footage of this perpetrator in the act. And obviously the officers were all sharing that information.
In court Monday afternoon, Shields asked the judge to release him. The judge denied his request. He'll be back for a preliminary hearing September 1st. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Right now, Shields is only charged in Lexington. Morehead State University police say they are taking a case against Shields to the grand jury next month.
A Georgetown College football player is at UK hospital this afternoon battling a critical head injury. Georgetown police are telling us he suffered the injury while at the Lambda Chi Alpha house on Saturday night. WKYT's Garrett Weimer's live near campus with more on the investigation into what happened. Garrett?
Yeah, police tell us it happened when a student tried to jump from a third-floor stairway to a second-floor landing at the Lambda Chi Alpha house here on Hollyhock Lane. They say he fell and hit his head. That student is Colson Mocklet, a sophomore defensive lineman on the Tigers football team. He's listed in critical condition at UK hospital. A spokesperson for the college says they're saddened by what happened and they're thinking of his family and hoping and praying for his full recovery. Now, police say they suspect that alcohol was involved, but nobody has been cited yet. Now, police say the whole thing is still an active investigation. Meanwhile, a lot of folks are waiting to hear more about how Mocklet is doing. Live at Georgetown College, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. And a college spokesperson says if alcohol was involved, they will adhere to the school's alcohol policy in taking further steps.
A burglar broke into a Lexington business in an unusual way. The owner of Neighborhood Grocery on East 7th says the thief cut a hole in the ceiling, then stole cigarettes and money. As WKYT's Victor Puente shows us, the break-in has left the owner with a big mess to clean up.
The owner of the Neighborhood Grocery says not only did this thief steal thousands of dollars worth of product, they also caused thousands of dollars in damage when they cut through a wall to get inside.
That's him right there. He's crawling on the back floor.
This is the thief who cut their way into the Neighborhood Grocery store around 3 a.m. Saturday morning.
All my ceiling tile is everywhere.
The store's owner, Omar Quintero, didn't want to go on camera, but he shared this surveillance video of the thief sneaking through the building off of East 7th Street. He says someone used tools to cut a hole in an upstairs wall and then dropped inside.
They did it real fast. They were able to come in and take all that and before the police even got here. So
he says they got around $5,000 in cigarettes and some money. He believes the store's alarm scared them off before they could go through the office, but they did kick their way inside. Quintero tells me he believes that thief may have had some help He said one of the items stolen was a large bucket filled with change. He said it would have been very heavy to carry that up to the ceiling all by yourself. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Quintero said he does have insurance to help cover the cost of those repairs. We are finally getting some relief after a long stretch of stormy and steamy weather.
Finally, we're overdue, aren't we? You'll want to get out and enjoy it because, yes, guess what? It will not be here for long. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey, though, is basking in the glow of a gorgeous day.
You know what? For the better part of the summer, guys, every time I've been out in public, I've been having people yell at me, please make it stop raining. Yesterday, it felt good to be outside, actually, and have people say, yeah, more of this, please. We're looking out there, and we're looking at 9 live sky cams across the entire region. Every sky cam basically with the skyline looking the same. Some sunshine, little high cloud cover, and some of those flat cumulus clouds, upper 70s. Are you kidding me? We'll take this each and every day and run with it, especially with low humidity out there. 7 o'clock this evening. Let's hit the fast forward button. By 11, already down into the low and mid 60s. And watch that thermometer early tomorrow morning. We're down into the 50s once again to start out the day, and likely to be dealing with a little fog that is out there first thing tomorrow morning. Defender radar network, absolutely nothing going on across central and eastern Kentucky. But when I come back in a little more than 5 minutes, we'll show you how indeed we see more steam and storms taking shape in the hour-by-hour forecast.
And now to our county-by-county coverage here at 5 o'clock. A Knox County jail inmate is on the run right now. Shane Browning walked away while on work release this morning. He was last seen about 9:45 this morning in the Hedrick area wearing a gray jumpsuit. In Boyd County, a judge has ruled a special election to expand alcohol sales can go forward. The city of Ashland sued Boyd County, saying the wording used in the petition calling for the vote was misleading. The special election takes place tomorrow.
A federal judge in Texas has temporarily blocked President Obama's order on transgender students in public schools. In May, the government told public schools transgender students must be allowed to use bathrooms and locker rooms consistent with their gender identity. Texas and 12 other states, including Kentucky, filed a lawsuit over the order. Governor Bevin responded to the ruling today, saying in part the court's decision recognizes this danger of this governmental overreach and reaffirms the right of local control. Hillary Clinton's email controversy continues to follow her on the campaign trail. Today, the State Department announced it's looking at thousands of previously undisclosed messages.
And Donald Trump is also defending himself over views on illegal immigration. Weijia Jiang has today's campaign 2016 headlines.
The State Department is going through nearly 15,000 emails that were recovered during the FBI's investigation of Hillary Clinton's private email server.
We still don't have a firm sense of how many of these 14,900 are new that we haven't seen before.
The department expects to release the first batch of messages just before November's presidential election. The latest CBS News battleground tracker shows Clinton has a 6-point lead over Donald Trump in Ohio. The two are tied in Iowa. After a staff shakeup, Trump appeared more disciplined. He spent last week reading from teleprompters and sticking to the campaign's message.
I think he's shown maturity. I think that he's growing in his role.
But on Monday, Trump attacked the hosts of MSNBC's Morning Joe, implying the couple is having an affair. Someday, when things calm down, I'll tell the real deal story of Joe MBC and his very insecure longtime girlfriend, Morning Mika, two clowns. Republican pollster Frank Luntz says voters are turned off by Trump's personal attacks.
But they hate it when he is laser-like in his criticisms of specific people or specific things. They find him mean. They find him insulting.
Trump's new campaign manager says he doesn't hurl personal insults unless he's attacked first. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
Former Secretary of State Colin Powell is pushing back against Clinton's claim that he suggested she use her private email server for non-classified information. People magazine reports that Powell said Clinton's people have been trying to pin the scandal on him.
A group of volunteers in Harrison County are trying to fill up this semi-truck with donations to send to Louisiana. We'll tell you how you can help coming up.
Doctors have figured out how to use an old technique to help people with spinal problems. We'll show you what they're doing in Better Living.
hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey, the definition of awesome, that's what's over my shoulder right now. That is our live sky cam showing beautiful skies across central and eastern Kentucky. WKYT Weather Garden out back here, and over top of it, we've got the blue skies. We've got a little bit of cloud cover to give our skyline some flavoring. And oh yeah, it's in the upper 70s with low humidity out there. 40% humidity, a far cry from where we have been for the past couple of months. Soak it up, my friends. Mid and upper 70s across the entire area. So if you are out this evening, you picked a good one. Maybe you had a 3-day weekend. Today was day 3 of that weekend. Yep, wish I could have picked this one too. We look outside on your Defender Radar Network. Nothing going on. What about tomorrow? 57 in the morning. A little fog for the trip into work and school. Tomorrow afternoon, let us do it all over again. Upper 70s, low 80s, depending on exactly where you are. Mix of sun and some high clouds. So it's another nice day as we break down the next 3 days. Wednesday, not much of a chance for a little isolated shower, thunderstorm. The humidity fights back in. So all of a sudden, when you're out Wednesday afternoon, maybe trying to do a little yard work, you're going to notice the sweat is trying to increase again. Then if you hold off until Thursday to get outside, yeah, the sweat's going to be rolling. With a few thunderstorms that can be around, tropical air begins to fight back into the bluegrass during that time. That's why the muggy meter really ramps up as we go into late Wednesday and especially on Thursday as we reach the tropical category yet again. So that's why I'm saying soak up right now, soak up what we have coming your way tomorrow as we're fairly pleasant for one more day. Brand new hour by hour is in. Let's look at it together. Out this evening, mid-60s by 11 o'clock, hello 50s again tomorrow morning. And just like this morning, you're going to notice a little fog for the trip into work and school. You're counting those fogs in August. Old timers used to tell us that the fogs in August would tell you how many snows you're going to get the following winter. If that's the case, look out. It's been foggy every morning so far this August into central and eastern Kentucky. Through tomorrow afternoon, some sun, some clouds around. We go into tomorrow night and through the day on Wednesday. Now we start to notice the clouds increasing and watch out for at least a scattered shower or thunderstorm with temperatures that will be back into the 80s, but you're going to notice the humidity that really increases during that time, and that's a sign of a pattern that is going to ramp it back up a little bit. 7-day forecast just decided to go AWOL. It wanted to go straight to the traffic. I'll tell you what. Here's what we do. We'll give you a little quick look at your drive times right now, and then we'll kind of take it in reverse. I have no idea why I decided to do that, but we make the best of it. We look outside right now. There you see those drive times. Nothing really impacting the drives out of Lexington, though several accidents that we're talking about across the downtown area as of right now. One recently occurring not too far away from Hamburg Pavilion. Told you, we'll make the best of it. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's hit that 7-day forecast and see what we have coming up for the next week with temperatures that will be generally running into the after tomorrow, the mid and upper 80s, humidity increases, daily threat for a thunderstorm or two. You see what happens when Dawn takes a day off? All of a sudden, the traffic just wants to overtake the 7-day.
Just says, come on, I'm going to be here whether you like it or not.
It does, but you notice I just kick it right
just kept
back
going.
Yeah.
I know how much you love fall.
Yeah.
You have to be just going crazy over this day.
I'm a little antsy right now.
You are,
inside.
aren't you?
I just want to get out back. I want to do my laps around the station tonight with nice weather for a change.
You'll be running them tonight.
That's right.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
A Kentucky group wants to make sure the four-legged victims of the Louisiana floods are not forgotten, what they're doing to help all those animals.
This weekend marks 10 years since the crash of Comair Flight 5191. How the victims will be remembered on WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The Olympics have ended, but the fallout from his time in Rio is just beginning for Ryan Lochte. Speedo USA and Ralph Lauren dropped the swimmer today over his claim he was robbed at gunpoint in Rio. He later apologized for embellishing his version of the story. Speedo says it will donate $50,000 of Lochte's fee to help children in Brazil. Nearly 3,000 people remain in shelters because of devastating floods in Louisiana.
The high water damaged as many as 60,000 homes. 106,000 people have applied for federal aid. And that is just the human victims. Countless pets and animals have been affected as well by the flooding. Our Mike Linden shows us how one Central Kentucky group is trying to help the four-legged victims.
A group of volunteers in Harrison County are collecting donations for a trip to the bayou.
The rescues contacted us, and they were in really bad shape down there, especially the livestock.
After devastating flooding in Louisiana, volunteers are collecting anything from hay bales to cat food to help the sometimes forgotten victims of flooding.
It's just what we do. We're all animal lovers, and fortunately you've got the National Guard and the Red Cross to help the humans, but many times the animals are forgotten.
And the donations will be riding to the bayou in style.
This is just us as a company wanting to help. We've done this in the past and we'll continue to do it.
The fundraiser is going on until Wednesday, and the goal is to fill up this entire truck with donations, which can fit approximately 44,000 pounds.
Back in 1997, we had the flood here in Cynthiana. We had lots of help, that was into this city, and, several supplies that come into here. So we just want to give back what they give to us.
Donations can be dropped off at the Southern States in Cynthiana until Wednesday. In Harrison County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
And good for them. The donation drive does not end on Wednesday. Volunteers plan to collect donations until there is no longer a need. 360,000 South Florida students returning to school today amid concerns about the Zika virus. State officials have identified a second zone in Miami-Dade County where people have contracted the virus from local mosquitoes. 2 public schools are in that zone. One of the schools is offering students protective uniforms. Parents have also been reminded to take precautions.
We have lots of phone calls and reminding us about insect repellent and water safety and, getting rid of standing water.
In all, 36 people in Florida have contracted the Zika virus from mosquitoes there. The community is preparing to remember 49 people killed in the crash of Flight 5191. Plans for Saturday morning's anniversary, the 10-year anniversary on WKYT News, coming up at 5:30.
A surgery technique that's been around for years is helping patients in a new way. How lasers are being used to treat spinal problems in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A laser technology that has been around in medicine for decades is now being adapted for spine surgery. As Graham Olkin shows us, it is best used on patients with back and leg pain due to a bulging disc.
That's all out the room. Been out the room since yesterday.
21-year-old Randall Lejeune has spent much of his young life in pain.
It's a really sharp, tingling feeling down my whole leg. Sometimes I could just be sitting down and it would just shoot down.
At the age of 20, he's walking around with a cane. He's embarrassed.
After a golf cart accident at age 15, a local pain clinic prescribed hydrocodone for temporary relief. Instead, Randall found himself with another problem.
Every visit, we will wean him off. We will wean him off. 5 years, they never weaned him off. This child had to go cold turkey. And he did it.
Now he's putting his hope in a laser. The technology has been around for years, but has just recently been adapted for spine surgery.
We're going to use the laser today to vaporize this patient's disc, to unpinch his nerve and to relieve his leg pain.
The laser is housed here at the Spine Hospital of Louisiana. Dr. Eric Oberlander points out the bulging disc at the bottom of Randall's spine. You can see it pushing against the sciatic nerve, but not for long.
Surgeons describe the laser like painting with a paintbrush, a really fine tip that allows them more precision.
Laser's ready.
The procedure takes about an hour and requires only a small incision. The laser creates a very high energy made out of light or photons. It's all concentrated in the tip of this pen-like tool, which quickly melts away that bulging disc. But laser spine surgery is not for everyone.
People think that the laser is some type of fountain of youth or a brand new spine. It's not. It's a good way to vaporize tissue, so it's not the right tool for every surgery.
Using the laser does not cost any more than similar types of spine procedures. Several doctors now use this machine, including Kevin McCarthy at the Bone and Joint Clinic.
By using the laser to ablate and melt the disc, we also are able to seal the backside of the disc itself, and that can prevent re-herniation of the disc or problems down the road that previously we've experienced.
That is the hope for Randall. He'll go home the same day with just a Band-Aid to show for his surgery.
And that was Graham Olkins reporting a supplement used to treat one complication of aging might lead to another one. A new study found taking calcium supplements to fight osteoporosis may raise a woman's risk of dementia. Researchers found it's particularly true if a woman has already had a problem causing poor blood flow to the brain. The findings only appear to apply to supplements. Calcium from food appears to affect the brain differently. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.